gentlemen in your respective capacities, good afternoon. On behalf of my Senior Minister, the Right Honorable Rebecca, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to our country and to this first EAC RCP meeting on migration in this country. Our technocrats have been here doing the hard work, and we shall have time to consider their report. Migration is a key subject of our concern, offers both opportunities and challenges, and we are here mainly to harness and promote the opportunities for the greater good of our community, but also to collectively within the EAC address the challenges. The RCP therefore provides the right forum to have candid discussion. This is the first one, and hope it breaks ground for more collaborative efforts about the subject in the future. I wish you all fruitful deliberations, and once again, welcome back to Kampala. Thank you.
Regional Director of IOM. Yeah, please.
Mr. Chair, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great pleasure for me to address these esteemed colleagues and groups. Allow me to extend my gratitude to the government of Uganda for hosting us and for extending its welcome to us in this beautiful city of Entebbe. I take this opportunity to thank the EAC Secretariat for this excellent working relationship that we have with IOM, which was sealed by an MOU in 2009 and further strengthened in 2021. I would like to highlight that this MOU contains areas of cooperation which, among others, include the establishment of the EAC Regional Consultative Process, which we are inaugurating today. I would like to congratulate the EAC and partner states for adopting the EAC RCP by the 45th Council of Ministers, which is now being operationalized as a platform for policy dialogue, peer exchange, and information sharing dedicated to the discussion of specific migration issues as per priorities set by member states. IOM is proud to have been part of this journey, which started in February 2022 in Kigali and ended in March 2022 in Nairobi, where the EAC modalities were approved for consideration by the Council of Ministers. Honorable Ministers, Permanent Secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to highlight that the interstate consultation mechanism on migration, including regional consultative processes on migration, or state-led policy dialogue forums, allowing the member states to jointly address migration issues. You may be aware that there are already RCPs in 5 AU RECs, ECOWAS, COMESA, SADC, ECAS, and IGAD. I'm delighted to see that the EAC partner states have established their own RCP to address migration issues within the community. The new RCP will advise the EAC partner states on emerging migration issues, provide solutions, as well as shape regional approaches in promoting cooperation on migration. Honorable Ministers, the main purpose of any RCP is to foster dialogue and holistic approach to migration governance as regional and intra-regional levels, addressing diverse themes as prioritized by member states, such as migrants' rights, migration policies, regular pathways, climate change, and economic contribution of migrants, among others. Through the EAC IOM MOU, IOM will continue to support the EAC RCP intervention and continue in a new way, and as contained in the newly developed action plan to be an important platform for information exchange on migration trends and best practice from other regional economic communities. I take this opportunity to congratulate the EAC for meeting the Federal Republic of Somalia as its latest partner state and underscore IOM's pleasure to able to support the verification mission through its secondees and willingness to work with the EAC and the federal government of Somalia on fast-tracking its full integration into the EAC. Honorable Ministers, the ongoing development of a joint proposal between IOM, EAC, and UNDP on advancing free movement of persons and regional integration in the EAC is a testament on how our partnership has now advanced to joint resource mobilization and programming. I humbly seek your continued cooperation towards the finalization and presentation of this proposal into the Development Partners Group Forum and other possible high-level meetings. This goes hand in hand with the resource mobilization for the implementation of the RCP action plan, which the experts developed during this meeting. I wish you, thank you very much, and I wish you a fruitful deliberation.
Thank you very much, Regional Director. And I think you have a lot of work to do because migration is non-stop, and you have to relocate people back into their origin. That's why it's called IOM. So thank you very much for your remarks. Now I will still take the same order from my left. I think I will start with you. If you want to use that podium, then you are most welcome. And if you want to use where you are now, also you are most welcome. So, Rwanda, you are welcome.
Thank you, Chair. Since you have allowed me to stay on my seat, I will oblige. Honorable Chair, Honorable Ministers, the Regional Director of IOM, the representative of the EAC-SG, the IOM Chief of Mission in Uganda, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my honor today to represent the government of Rwanda to this inaugural session of the East African Community Regional Consultative Process on Migration. Allow me to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to the host, the Republic of Uganda, for the warm welcome to our delegation, which has been here for some time. I also extend heartfelt appreciation to the chair of this EAC Regional Consultative Meeting, the Republic of South Sudan, for their leadership, and the East African Community Secretariat, relentless efforts in promoting integration and cooperation across our region. I also commend the International Organization for Migration, IOM, for their steadfast support of migration governance and their invaluable contributions to this landmark event. Migration has always been central to the East African community history and development. Today, it remains a cornerstone of our socioeconomic growth and regional integration. Rwanda is open to safe and regular migration and believes in its benefits. By harnessing the potential of migration, we can unlock unprecedented opportunities for development, integration, and resilience across our partner states. This consultative process provides a platform for dialogue and collaboration, enabling us to address key challenges such as irregular migration, border management, climate-induced displacement, and the health risks faced by migrants. It also serves as a foundation for harmonizing our policies, laws, and programs to maximize the benefits of migration for our citizens.
Accorded to me and delegation of United Republic of Tanzania since our arrival in this beautiful city of Entebbe. Allow me also to extend our gratitude to the Secretariat of the East Africa Community and International Organization for Migration for their invaluable partnership in organizing the first East Africa Community Regional Consultative Meeting on Migration here in Entebbe. This important meeting would not have been possible if it was not for the close relationship with the EAC, if it's not for the close partnership the EAC has forged with the IOM. I'm aware of the financial and technical support that has been extended to the senior officials, social dynamics, and environmental changes. The EAC has long been at the forefront of promoting free movement of people within the region, recognizing that mobility can enhance economic growth, culture exchange, and social cohesion. Through the Common Market Protocol, labor migration governance in East Africa has been well regulated. Our effort to fully implement the Common Market Protocol is to ensure that our people engage in productive jobs where they can become productive in workplaces that need all levels of skills and protected in their migration processes. We take note of the stride that made the East Africa and the partners states in development policy aim at facilitating safe and orderly migration. Despite of the many milestones registered, we are still compelling to work together to harmonize our policies and practices regarding migration management bilaterally or at a regional level. This gathering, therefore, aim at enhancing our effort in managing migration issues. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed by my delegate that senior officials and a permanent principal secretary and a secretary's meeting were held in a very cordial atmosphere, where various issues concerning migration, especially the thematical areas on migration, were exhaustively discussed and agreed. I applaud the permanent secretaries and undersecretaries and the senior officials for the job well done and the deliberations and agreed recommendations. We all looking forward to consider this report. In conclusion, I wish to inform commitment of the government of Tanzania to this regional consultative process. I'm looking forward for the fruitful deliberation to this meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, and I think join me to welcome our first Deputy Prime Minister. She is a resource person to us, very well knowledgeable of the situation since then, and there's nobody who will compete with her here. So you are most welcome, and greet your people.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to first thank my Minister of State for performing my duties while I was still doing something in Kampala. But nevertheless, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much for the honor to host you in our country. You are sitting here on the serene banks of the Lake Victoria, and I hope that you are being treated well by these Ugandans. If in case they are not, you let me know. I want to thank the IOM for having this meeting. The issues of immigration have been a challenge. Generally, we have been handling them bilaterally, but I think it's important that we sit together and chart out a common strategy. So I expect that this meeting will lay the foundation for a very, very fruitful partnership, and also it will enable us to identify the challenges and deal with them. And I'm sure this meeting will give us an opportunity to compare notes and deal with all the issues that arise around immigration. Of course, on this continent, one of the biggest challenges we have is our African children moving involuntarily to different places, sometimes in a dangerous manner. For instance, the Mediterranean has become the graveyard of the African people. But these are things we could handle if we were more organized. And also, thank you very much.
DRC.
Merci beaucoup, Président. Excellence, Madame la Vice-Ministre, Excellence, Monsieur le Ministre, au nom de mon ministre Mazenga, comme je l'avais dit, qui est empêché, je présente toutes mes félicitations aux amis de l'OIM et de l'EAC d'avoir organisé cette première réunion sur le PCR. Depuis notre arrivée ici en Ouganda, je crois que tout se passe bien et nous sommes vraiment contents. Vous savez, cette réunion est d'une très importante capitale pour la RDC, d'autant plus qu'il y a les défis sur l'immigration. J'ai parcouru les rapports finaux et dans ces rapports, on a ressorti les migrants internes et les migrants externes. Et je vous informe que sur le plan des migrants internes, la RDC est confrontée à un problème de déplacés de guerre. Et personne n'ignore que avec les groupes rebelles qui pilulent l'Est de la République, il y a des déplacés internes qui sont vraiment très nombreux. Et cela a pour conséquence même de perturber les écosystèmes, puisque ces déplacés doivent chercher de l'eau, doivent se battre pour se nourrir, et ils sont appelés à détruire même la forêt. Et c'est un problème qui est très sérieux. Je voudrais attirer l'attention de tout le monde sur ces phénomènes-là, les migrants internes et les déplacés de guerre. Néanmoins, ce qui est important, c'est aussi l'harmonisation des politiques nationales. Vous savez, nous sommes nouveaux dans l'EAC et nous devons accélérer la mise en œuvre pour harmoniser notre politique interne nationale sur le problème des migrations. Avec toutes mes félicitations, je réitère mes félicitations les plus sincères aux organisateurs et je vous remercie.
Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All protocol observed, I would really want to appreciate the fact that the Republic of Uganda has allowed this event to take place in their own grounds, and we appreciate as the Republic of Kenya on that will from the leadership of this country to have this conference organized here. And I really want also to thank the EAC for organizing the sitting and equally being facilitated by IOM. So this kind of collaboration is what we would always want to appreciate as a republic, that the one that takes the first steps and those that come to organize and put things together is what, as a Republic of Kenya, uphold it here with all that it deserves, and we say thank you for that. So honestly, as we are here, we are representing a Republic of Kenya that is a member state to EAC, and we have always become part and parcel of the protocol, part and parcel of all that has been agreed within the community, in terms of implementing, facilitating, availing our technocrats in making sure some of these activities are represented in terms of every role that a Kenyan would want to input. And because we embrace the integration that is our key pillar as a region, our team that came is already a sign of commitment from the Republic of Kenya that some of the migration issues are part and parcel of the Kenya affair. And that is why our technocrats will get that line around here. And we are here as ministers to endorse whatever they've agreed, because I know they don't always misguide or mislead, they always put us right. And we are here as ministers to endorse what they've agreed upon. And as a Republic of Kenya, we are here to show our commitment through His Excellency Dr. William Ruto that the country is well represented. We are here to pursue his commitment to the EAC, which is a pillar he handles with a lot of dearness in his own way of governance. So for that matter, we are here to endorse your technocrats' inputs. We are here to support you. We are here to bring forth the policy that would enhance the continuity of this integration of East Africa. Thank you so much.
Burundi.
Envers Dieu, source de sagesse et de guidance, pour nous avoir réunis ici aujourd'hui, il est possible l'organisation de cette conférence. Que sa grandeur soit louée éternellement. Nous profitons de cette excellente opportunité pour exprimer notre sincère reconnaissance au gouvernement de la République de l'Ouganda et sa population pour l'accueil chaleureux qui nous a été réservé de notre arrivée à Entebbe, magnifique ville sur la rive du lac Victoria. Nos remerciements vont également à Maison pour l'importance qu'ils ont réservée à la participation aux activités dédiées à la première conférence régionale de la communauté est-africaine sur le processus consultatif régional sur la migration. Nous exprimons également notre profonde gratitude au secrétariat de la communauté est-africaine et à l'Organisation internationale pour les migrations de cette conférence, le ministère en charge du travail et de l'emploi, ainsi que d'autres ministères sectoriels ici représentés, saluent l'organisation de cette première conférence régionale sur le processus consultatif régional sur la migration, sur le thème exploiter et consolider les avantages découlant de la migration au sein de la communauté. Nul n'ignore que la migration au sein de la communauté est-africaine est un phénomène complexe, influencé par des facteurs économiques, politiques, sociaux et environnementaux, et elle joue un rôle crucial dans l'intégration régionale et le développement socio-économique des pays partenaires de la communauté est-africaine, une fois bien coordonnés, que les pays partenaires doivent prendre des mesures et des actions concrètes et concertées pour que la migration soit bénéfique pour les pays concernés. Nous saisissons de cette occasion pour vous informer qu'au niveau de la République du Burundi, un projet de politique nationale de la migration de la main-d'œuvre a été déjà élaboré et qu'il est à sa phase finale de validation habilité. Il est de noter également que le gouvernement de la République du Burundi, à travers ses institutions compétentes, a élaboré une politique nationale de la diaspora et la stratégie des projets et projets sur la diaspora et les migrants dans l'atteinte de la nouvelle vision développée en 2060 sont en cours d'élaboration. Que nous concluons notre allocution. Ensemble, compétitive,
Labor Ministry.
House. From my personal understanding, not an understanding as the youth ambassador, it means that one, when we clap with a finger, it doesn't make the sound if we're paying attention. Then when we reached 5, it actually made a very big sound. So from my understanding, it means that hands together as different member states will actually attain a specific goal that we all require for the betterment of our different member states, for the betterment of the region as well. So that is my personal understanding. Thank you so much.
I think you might have known this from Secretariat, good afternoon. It is our, and you know you cannot fulfill the human need, nothing. If I'm in Kenya, I want to go and see also maybe Uganda better than Kenya, I have to move there, or South Sudan. People are moving, and the migration have the reasons. All the doctors, since we were actually, or we are members of Regional Ministerial Forum on Migration. All of us, we are members there, east and home. It would have been good if we can combine, if we want to discuss the climate change, if we discuss the youth, migration and what, at least we can pool our resources together because we are looking for resources outside. IOM is helping us, but it's getting also money from somewhere. And those who are giving us money, it is not free. There is no free lunch. You have to pay for it. Anything they are given, it is attached with some condition. But it is observationally. But it is good that if we are committed and we are serious, and then we really need to work on these all forums. I know some people may not attend because giving also our resources in our countries. Today you have a meeting here, tomorrow you will be a call for regional ministerial forum in Kenya or in Ethiopia, after that to Djibouti, and put the interests of East African community ahead of us. Lastly, I know I will say it again in my closing, but I want to thank our technical people, which we, the ministers, rely on them. There is nothing that we will do without you people. And you can see the beauty of having technical people. Now you spend a good 3-4 days sleepless, discussing, quarreling, coming together. And then we are sleeping with the ministers. And you are suffering, we are going to adopt it only in 30 minutes, which make it very good for us. So I want to thank you very much and want to urge you that we continue with this spirit. We are nothing. We are policy makers only. All right, and policy is prepared by you. I want to thank you very much. I want to thank the Secretariat. I want to thank the media, our media, taking is a history's archive for us because our young people, our grandchildren will know that at one point we were doing this and that. With this, of course, as I said, I'm the chair. I put 1 minute as the minute of the chair. So I want to thank you very much. And I want to declare here our meeting is open. But what we will do now I think is the time for lunch. We will go for a group photo. And then there's no tea. I think we will go for lunch, direct. And then by, is it 1:30 or 2? I think by 2:30 we will convince here, and we will start with the reading of the report of the permanent principal and the secretary's report. And then now we can adopt and sign the document, and that will mark the closing of our meeting. Is that okay? Okay, if that is that our opinion, all of us, then we can go for that. By consensus, I'm not a dictator to dictate the term, so I think we will go for that. Now, the secretary will read the report I think you get to prepare yourself so that you take us through, and then we make our input, and after that we sign. If we can sign it now and then we go for lunch and we don't come back, that's fine. So now who is the reporter, or who is taking us through? Is it somebody from the Republic of South Sudan, or who is that? MC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Ministers, the permanent principal and other secretaries, and our technical experts working group. Thank you very much, and we congratulate you for successful completion of the opening ceremony of the first EAC regional consultative process. The chairperson of the permanent secretaries presented the report. We are trying to see how it could be projected, but since most of you have the hard copies, we can use the hard copies, and the high table will use the screen which is just below here. We can also use the other big screen for those on this side, if you not disrupt the.
But I will be very short in this report because I believe all of you has the hard copy and the soft copy as well. To the observations of the interstate consultative meetings, and so that we are very short on that point. The secretariat, the person who is raising these presentations, let's just look at the observations of the interstate, because that is the most important thing, which are the observations from the expert as well as the PS and the principal secretaries. The observations are, thank you so much. Can you push to the observations of, that is page 7. These are presentations, and these are the recommendations from the experts and also from the principals, secretaries and the permanent secretaries. The observations are, one, they noted that there is need to conduct an overview of the key migrations governance issues faced by each East African communities, member state. This overview will help identify issues that are common across multiple EAC countries, following them to gain regional significance and address through a new migration dialogue interstate consultative mechanism. That is A. And B, there is a need to establish national consultative process and technical working group across the EAC partner state to discuss migrations issues and report at senior level meetings. And C, it is essential to consider the financial sustainability of the new migrations dialogue, which is ISCMs, for EAC regional, and is noted that the 9, we are on I, which is there are existing mechanism. Are we all in the same page?
Yeah, no, yes.
Now we skipped from page 7 and went to page 9 instead of page 8.
That's true. Now,
So if you had read the heading and then you read the observations, and then after you go to page 8 to read the migration and health, blah, blah. So,
Thank you so much for that.
okay, now you go 2.1, you said observations, and then you go 2.2, observation, 2.3, observation.
Thank you. The mistake is from my side.
Yes.
You know, I jumped from observations of the interstate, and I went to some few observations of the migration and health. Now, can we go to 2.2 and see those and the observations for that has been put across? One, there is need to integrate health issues on migrations in the hard document, and B, there is need to have a clear focus on migrations, on migrant workers. C, there is need to put strategies in place to retain skilled expert and staff, especially at the...
You are saying there is it in your document or in your head?
No, it's here.
But with us here, they know that there.
Need to put.
Need. There is no need.
Okay.
All right, so you, please, you say what is written there.
Okay, thank you. D, noted that the focus in formal document like country health, that is page 9. Are we in the same page? Okay, D, noted that the focus in formal document like a country health strategy plan has been on internal displaced persons. That one is not moving. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. E, there is enough. Finances. The region is still depend on donor projects for funding many of the activities related to pandemic preparedness. G, limited reliable information on migration's health to inform policy and programs on migrant health. And H, there is a need to promote One Health approach in migrant health. Mechanism for managing refugees and diseases outbreak. There is an annex for that presentation, and the meeting noted the need to collect regional data on gender and youth migration, which is only an observation, which is page 10.
Okay.
Chair, on under 2.2, I think we remove the word has and say the EAC roadmap for fast-track integration of DRC, Somalia, and South Sudan in the committees in place and is implemented. So let's just say the EAC roadmap is in place. So remove the has.
Noted. The Secretariat, have you fixed that? Thank you.
And then 2.4.
2.4 was on migrations and border governance, which is page 10. And there is an annex for that presentation. And the the meeting deliberated on the need to enhance border management measures across the EAC partner states through joint border management initiative or mechanisms between EAC partner states to address issues of crimes at the border, which stand alone as a recommendation and observations. Can we move to 2.5?
Yes.
On 255, we are on migrations and climate change.
Okay.
In that, there is going to be an annex for that, and the meeting noted that the increasing frequency and intensity of drought, flood, and rainfall have led to human mobility. Achieving climate resilience in the EAC is a collective endeavor that requires the commitment of all parts of the regions as an observations to that thematic area. This is page 12. 2.6 is migrations and labor. There is also an annex for that, and on page 14, to that same, the meeting noted the progress made in subsectors and observed the delays on harmonizations of partner state policies, laws, and system to comply with the CMPs. If we are okay there, we can move to 2.7. If we're okay there, we can move to 2.7. And 2.7 is the draft action plan. And in the draft actions plan, there are so many observations, but along we trimmed, including the PS, has come up with 4 good observations that they put there, and they are as follows. The EAC partner state, which is A, the EAC partner state are part of the key stakeholders in the implementations of the RCP action plan. B, the implementation of the RCP action plan will require the establishment of a strong governance system for effective migration management. This needs to be prioritized. C, there is a need for an RCP's communication strategy to ensure publicity and awareness. D, the RCP action plans will require a breakdown of outcomes. I think output also is there, but I think the Secretariat has to capture that because it's outcome. I think there is outcome and there is output. Capture. Performance indicators, details, activities, and a related budget. Now the annex of that draft will be support into the report, and the meeting comes with numbers of recommendations. Recommendations number 1, which is A, is adopt the draft EAC RCP's action plan. B, recommend partner state to establish national consultative process and national technical working group for relevant thematic areas to facilitate implementation of the EAC RCPs. C, direct EAC Secretariat in collaboration with partner state to constitute a regional technical working group for relevant thematic areas to facilitate the implementations of the EAC regional consultative process on migrations. D, direct the EAC Secretariat in collaboration with the development partners, including IOM, to mobilize resources to facilitate the implementation of the EAC RCP's action plan. E, recommend partner states to fast-track the harmonizations of their national policies, laws, and regulations to enhance safe, orderly, and regular migrations, including addressing the challenges and opportunities of human mobility in context of climate change. F, direct the EAC Secretariat in collaboration with IOM and other partners to develop an EAC RCP's communication strategy and present it to the second EAC RCP for consideration. G, which is the last recommendation, commend the IOM for facilitating the establishment of the EAC regional consultative process on migrations. And this brings us to the end of this recommendation that has been forwarded as for this draft actions plan. With this, I would like to thank all of you for listening. Thank you so much.
You have not finished. No, run away. Now we want you to take us through the action plan, the budget, so that we know what we are going to adopt actually. This paper, this what last one.
On budget, because it is also important to, can we, in the budget, we can go thematic area by thematic areas. I hope the high table, each of everyone has the soft copy and the hard copy of the thematic area that contain the priority areas, the intervention, the estimated budget, the responsibilities, and the time frame. Are we all in the same pages? Thank you, Chair. In the thematic area number 1, which is labor mobility and migrations, the priority area is labor mobility and migrations. It has so many components there in the interventions. A, operationalize the EAC RCP on migrations by undertaking conferences annually and on rotational basis. Establish and operationalize thematic technical working group to facilitate coordinations and implementation of the EAC RCP action plan. The budget line for this is estimated $500 US. The responsibility is based on EAC partner states, IOM, development, and social partners. The time frame is from 2025 to 2030, which is 5 years durations time. C, mobilize resources for implementations of the EAC labor migrations policy implementation plan, including considerations for migrant workers in the green economy sector. That is 1 million estimate budget, and the stakeholders responsible are EAC, partner state, AU, JLMP, IOM, ILO, and enablers, development, and social partners. The durations is the same. The time frame is 5 years. And D, finalize and implement of the EAC Decent Work Country Program 2025-2030 30, the budget estimate is 400,000 US dollar. The stakeholders are EAC, partner state, ILO, and IOM.
Wait, we have
On D, I think
question.
you should remove the off and just say, finalize and implement the EAC. Remove the off.
Yes. Noted.
And then you put the country program. The country is not there. Decent work program, but it's decent work country program.
Decent work country program. Secretariat, noted. E, facilitate the implementation of the annex manual recognitions of academic professional qualifications. And the budget, there are a lot of interventions there, and the budget is 500, estimated 500 US dollar, and the stakeholder responsible are EAC partner state, AU, LMP, IOM, development, and social partners. F, facilitate the operationalizations of the mutual recognition agreements, which is MRS, for professional, facilitate harmonization of Tibet curriculum, including green economic and climate change programs in EAC regions, promote migrant access to Tibet programs and skill development in the green economic sector. I've already said the estimated budget is clear there. I, develop roadmap and implementations agreement for EAC social security coordination of right and benefit regulations. Arrangement, that is not a arrangement. And the budget estimate is 500, and the responsible institution are EAC, partner state, IOM, AU, JLP, and development and social partners. You open to the next page, which is priority 2, which is gender, youth, and children. Are we all in that page? Yes, thank you. A is integrate gender and youth perspective into migrations management policies and strategies. There are so many interventions. The budget line is 1 million. The stakeholders are EAC, partner state, IOM, PAO, development and social partners. And the duration is 5 years from 2025 to 2030. And B is to support the implementation of the roadmap on strengthening child protection system and cross-border mechanism. That is to identify border points to implement activities. C, support the activities of the EAC GBP working group. D, support the integrations of GBP matters and strengthens cross-border GBP preventions and response with cultural perspective. E, support the institutionalizations of the joint actions against irregular migrations, counter human trafficking, and drug smuggling. 3 is a capacity building initiative, institutional.
You read it all, this A, B, C, up to the last, and then you say the.
Okay. For 3, A, build capacity of EAC partner state to perform verifications of document, trouble document, and fraud. B, develop awareness raising and communication strategy on rights of migrants. C, undertake capacity building of border officers, authority on migrations, environment and climate change, and a cross-border disaster displacement. D, enhance youth digitalizations, skills and competent through training. E, undertake peace and security capacity building activities on cross-border management. The budget for all these interventions are 1 million. The stakeholders responsible are the EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partners.
The Secretariat, you see the digitalization. You put the correct spelling.
Digitalization, yes.
Yeah.
Noted. 4, training and skills. Is joint.
Now you stop from there. H and where is it? H and you see H and C faith, the other faith, the gender, youth, and children. What is the difference? Support support the activities of East African Community GVV Working Group. Is it different or what?
Secretariat, can you explain? That C is promote engagement. On the other page is C is promote.
Is it thematic, different thematic area?
Yes.
Okay. Use it. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. L, we joint venture and a training of immigrations policy, police and security services. M,
Mr. Chair, I think there's also a problem with the numbering. They keep on continuing while this is a new topic that is discussed. I think where there's H, I think it's supposed to be A. Okay.
Honorable Chair, on I, you know, if we are dealing with the children crossing borders, etc., I think we need to include social workers. They should not just be meeting the police and the immigration officials in their uniforms. I think we need social workers here.
In I?
In I. Immigration, police, social workers, and security services.
In which thematic area is it, number 5? Oh, okay. I support intervention and activities of the East African Community Center of Excellence on BBG.
No, I'm talking about I. You know, at the border, sometimes you have children who are even not accompanied by their parents. For me, I think that they should not be just be confronted by immigration officers in their uniforms, the police in their uniforms, security service in their uniforms. I think we need social workers at the border.
Okay. Noted. Okay.
Thank you so much for that intervention, and the Secretariat has taken note of that. Yes, the order of the alphabeticals is now taken care of and changed. M, extensions of Nile, countering transnational threat on Lake Victoria by enhancing border security capacity and coordinations between authorities in Kenya, Uganda, and the United Republic of Tanzania. Let's follow this order. Mine is not corrected, but N, support the maritime security agencies, institutions, O, support operationalizations of the...
Wait, stop from there now, the M. Are we talking of criminal in the Lake Victoria here or what? Do we have a piracy here in the Lake Victoria? This is what we are trying to capture here or what?
I'm also wondering about Lake Albert, because we have Uganda shares the border with the DRC along Lake Albert.
So, yeah, and you want the DRC to be added here?
Lake Albert. We are dealing with Lake Victoria alone, but we also have Lake Albert, which is the cross boundary.
Albert, okay. He's saying Lake Albert, but I want to know exactly what do you mean here? Do we have criminal operating in the Lakes region and Lake Victoria or what? Is this the meaning? Okay. Somebody want to answer?
Honorable Chair, this intervention is focusing on crime control within the inland water bodies. These we could give examples on Lake Victoria, Lake Albert. We can generalize them as inland water bodies so that we don't limit this particular intervention or coverage. Thank you.
Thank you for that opportunity. Sir, there is a growing concern that transnational organized crime is actually linked to the development of East Africa. Africa's development, its positive development, is as attractive for transnational organized crime. And when we look at matters related to containerization, matters related to inadequacies between states on certain types of legislation where there isn't a concurrent agreement, we see that the region is the next great region for transnational organized crimes growth. We can refer to studies by the Institute of Security Studies and UNODC on this matter. Thank you. That's correct, sir. One change that is occurring is that we used to only use maritime for coastal areas. However, Lake Victoria is now considered maritime and not inland for the reason that it is generating a large amount of revenue It is also connected to Mombasa port and to dry ports of Uganda and Tanzania. These are international destinations. So the dynamics are changing as we develop. And the unfortunate downside of that, sir, is that these become very attractive for transnational organized crime. Thank you.
Albert, you were talking of Lake Albert. What do you know about Lake Albert? And
Lake Albert is pretty similar, but not in the same development range. What we know about Lake Albert is that there's movement of matters and minerals that lead to the financing of transnational organized crime. These are transient points for different types of movements. Human trafficking, migrant smuggling, and the smuggling of cocaine from West Africa to East Africa takes place through these regions.
So you can put the secretariat. The Lake Albert has to be put there because also is a concern.
Yeah, distinguished honorable ministers, yes, I think that is a very important observation, and I think also it was a kind of an oversight. We have got interventions on the inland water bodies. At first, it was on Lake Victoria and other inland water bodies when we were still 3 countries, but now we mention on the inland water bodies within the EAC region. And I wish to concur with the representative of the IOM on the comments he has made on Lake Victoria, on Lake Albert. It is actually not on Lake Albert, but also there are reports on other shared lakes like Lake Tanganyika, which also addresses, rather is shared by the 3 partner states now, the United Republic of Tanzania, Republic of Burundi, and the DRC. So there is a growing initiative and concern about especially these border shared water resources, and there are quite a number of different crimes taking place there. But most important is the transnational cross-border and transnational organized crimes. Those are the key ones we focus on, and they are in quite a number of forms, others in minerals, others in drugs and narcotics, others in human and persons trafficking, to mention but a few. I submit.
You are right, even the River Nile, we have the same, we have the same problems. We are bordering with Ethiopia, also we are sharing border with them, and all the criminals can use that waterway. So it is important. River Nile also is a concern also to us.
Thank you so much, High Table and Chair. Let me proceed. Now we are in P, which is capacity building on combating human trafficking and smuggling, targeting immigrations, custom officials, border communities, etc. Q is capacity building on social security protections, occupation safety and health, and labor migrations governance. R, addressing irregular migrations. S, establishment of one-stop border posts where needed. T, integrate coordinated border ports of entry management and operationalize of the OSBPs, including greening of border posts. And the budgets for all these interventions.
What is the OSBP and SOP?
That is one-stop border port.
And then SOP? Source of what?
Source of
Site of operation procedures. Yeah, you need to put it so that we are.
Secretariat, please make it clearer so that it is
okay, wait.
these
There
acronyms.
is another observation here.
I would like to delete the word where needed. I think the policy now in the East African community is to establish one-stop border posts. So you can't say you need it, you don't need it. It's now the way to go. So remove the word where needed.
Have you captured that? Thank you so much, Secretariat. And the budget for all these interventions is an estimate of 1 million. The stakeholder responsible are EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partners. And the duration is 5 years. We are almost there. On 6, which is the next page, is on diaspora engagement. The interventions are A, develop and implement the EAC diaspora framework for diaspora engagement in economic development, economic development. B, undertake benchmarking visit on best practice for diaspora engagement. C, development of a regional model on bilateral labor agreements to promote ethical recruitment practice and monitoring the operations of private recruitment agencies. D, support development of EAC regional framework on returns and reintegrations of migrants. E, strengthen public-private partnership. Private partnership for resource mobilization, jobs, placement, and opportunity regulations and monitoring. The estimated budget is 1 million. The stakeholder responsible are EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partners. This goes from 2024 to 2029, which is again 5 years.
We have observation here.
Now, under A, I think you should complete the word development. The word economic development, I think it's not English. Complete the word development.
Not it. It's already captured by our secretariat. Can we proceed? Thank you. On thematic area, which is the last, which is on climate change and mobility.
Estimated cost 8,400,000, is it?
The total estimate is 8,400,000 USD for all those interventions. Now on climate change and mobility, on policy coherence and inclusions of human mobility in disaster and climate change related policies, their interventions are A, support partner state to incorporate human mobility in disaster and climate change related policies such as national adaptations plan and national determined contribution. B, mainstream IDP's program in climate disaster preparedness and response. And the budget line for these two interventions is estimate of 500,000 USD, and the responsible stakeholders are EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partners. On the other side of the page, next page is a climate change adaptations and resilience initiative. A, develop evidence-based innovations and create tailor-made interventions addressing human mobility in the context of environmental degradations, disaster, and climate change. B, document national, regional, and global success story on climate change adaptations and mitigations interventions relevant to East Africa. C, support youth and women innovations and studies on climate change adaptations. D, conduct climate change, vulnerability assessment, and specific study to explore concrete alternative on how human mobility can contribute to adaptations or migrations in each context in the region. Implementations of local community-based adaptation and resilience interventions with migrants, displaced persons, and local communities. F, community-based climate change awareness and hands-on capacity building on adaptations and mitigations measures in collaborations with youth leaders. And the budget line put is the estimate of $8 million US, and the stakeholder responsible are EAC partner state, IOM, development and social partner. The durations time frame is 5 years.
Chair. Chair, I'm wondering whether we should not include refugees under E, because refugees tend to stay longer, and the impact on the local community is much more than these. I thought we should include migrants, refugees, displaced persons. Yes.
The Secretariat has noted that intervention. Thank you so much. Chair, can I oh, yes.
I'm just contemplating on the figures that are put, and it's the same stakeholders going to fund all the activities in the $1 million that it is. Is this supposed to be a commitment from them, or it's a figure imagined that they will contribute? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that interventions, and you will receive answers to those as we proceed. On preparedness, readiness, rapid response, and resilient to disaster risks, the interventions are A, ECO-DRR approach, protecting water bodies and conducting flood mitigations measures, sustainable land and soil use, restorations and control, reforestations and land conservations. C, ecotourism, implementation of natural capital economic valuation study recommendation. D, mobilize resources to support green jobs and eco-friendly entrepreneurship for youth, build capacity on climate change and coping mechanism for youth and women. The budget line is estimated to be 3 million, and the stakeholders responsible are EAC partner state, IOM, WFP, EPAT, FAO, development and social partners.
Before you go away from there, ECO-DRR, what is it? Secretariat. DRR. Disaster resilient and risk, or what?
DRR.
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
A DRR is disaster risk reduction.
Risk reduction.
Yes.
Okay. You put it clear.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. As I proceed, on community-based awareness and hand-on capacity building, on preparedness, readiness, rapid responses resilient to disaster risks, including health aspect. I have 3 interventions. 1, A is map out hotspot or places, areas prone to disaster in the EAC region. B, identify place or sites where to establish evacuation centers and health facility. C is improve and reinforce emergency preparedness plan and invest in robust early warning system to prevent displacement while planning also for evacuations and plan relocations considered gender sensitivity. The estimate budget is 1,200,000 USD. The stakeholder responsible are EAC partner state, IOM, UNDRR, development and social partners. The duration is 5 years from 2025 to 2030. Can we move to the other thematic area on health program and service? If there is no any observations, I move. And number one is promotions of health programs and services. A, conduct rapid assessment of health facilities and communities in disaster-prone, cross-border and migrations affected areas. B, produce fair revised articles. C, develop guidelines and roll out the migrations health profile at the country level. D, develop a business case of migrants' inclusions in health service cost analysis. E, advocate for universal health coverage and progressive inclusion of migrants, that is collections of good practice regional workshops. And F, develop mental health program for border officials, that's GATS. G, develop a regional framework guidelines on managing diseases outbreak among returnees and IDPs, regional health contingencies plan for migrants, that is on regional consultation. And the budget estimate is 5 million. The responsible stakeholders include EAC partner state, IOM, WHO, Africa, CDC, development, and social partners. We have two interventions into that, which is establish and support working group meeting to improve the quality of generated data of migrants, IDPs, returnees, and fast release in the regions. And I is the facilitate learning missions for country and a national team on health program. Now, there was two on this same, because we now have, I think the Secretariat, you will have to rearrange some of this intervention. Yes, there should be something, or it is continuing. For that, you will rectify it under the same thematic areas. Is standing alone. We will let the Secretariat to harmonize that and clean as we proceed. There was a budget already put here, and there must be a priority areas for it. And A is a revise the preparedness response plan, that is immigration and human mobility inclusions. You scale up the current WASH project to a flagship program. C is strengthen capacity building on health emergencies. And D is strengthen regional coordinations for accreditations of a health certificate, including health personnel.
You complete the B. B of it.
B, say, scale up the current WASH project to a flagship program. That is to say, undercover areas, sustainable integrations of One Health, preventions of zoonotic diseases, water access also in a drought front area, schools and communities gathering points. C, strengthens capacity building on health emergencies, that is to do with training on HBMM, emergency response, cross-border simulations exercise. And D, strengthens regional coordinations for accreditations of a health certificate, including health personnel competencies, COVID tests, vaccinations, and others, and develop regional SOP for health management along transport corridor for COVID and beyond. E, develop or adopt guidelines for one's health approach in cross-border areas using pilot cross-border collaborations project. F, establish and strengthen coordination mechanism and collaborations for an effective cross-border response to health emergencies. Under health system development and service delivery in immigrations affected areas along mobility corridor and for overseas labor migrations, there is A, strengthen health facility service delivery in hotspot areas, that is rapid response team, outreach, health workforce, emergency health and equipment. B is build consistent SOPs and accredited clinic for pre-departure medical screening for migrant workers for EAC countries and non-EAC such as the GCC. And the budget estimate was 4 million, which we say the Secretariat would harmonize and clean that site. There are other interventions which are down, which start from C, is regional coordinations for accreditations of health competencies, harmonizations of protocols. D, strengthen a regional monitoring mechanism on occupations health for migrants in EAC and overseas with the data groups. And E, advocate for strengthening integrated cross-border surveillance, that is to do with animals and human diseases. F, contribute to strengthening cross-border molecular and etymological surveillance for animals and human diseases. 2, yes.
Under D, are you talking about monitoring mechanisms? Because it can't be mechanics. Strengthen remove the A and so regional monitoring, I think it's mechanisms.
E.
It's not mechanics.
Ah, okay. I think my document is the one which was not well corrected, but it's mechanism. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe the occupation is occupational health. Health for migrants. Occupational health. Yeah, complete that.
Occupational health. Yes, thank you with that interventions, and the Secretariat has captured that. In 2, which is on migrations, health, governance, and advocacy. The interventions are A, support situation analysis of the legislative framework, develop regional policy guidelines on access to health care services and eliminations of gender, culture, and social barriers to access health care services to pandemic like COVID-19, pregnancies, sexually transmitted inspections, tuberculosis and HIV and hepatitis. C, facilitate technical expertise for the reporting of the health aspect of GCM accountability mechanism. D, establish regional coordinations for migrations health integrations into existing platform. E, strengthens coordinations and collaborations mechanism to effect responses to health emergencies. F, establish TWGs to collect, analyze, and disseminate quality and timely data for migrants and fast release. G, develop regional framework to manage diseases outbreak, including mental health. H, facilitate benchmarking on adaptations, guidelines, policies on One Health programs. I, develop guidelines to facilitate movement of animals across borders, including provisions of vaccinations of animals and people. J, develop a regional scorecard on migrants' health to continuous access progress on key indicators and hold ourselves accountable. The budget line estimate is $1,500,000 US. The responsible.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, under B, we are focusing more on COVID-19, but in this region we've had Ebola, now we have Mpox. I don't know whether we should not find a way for including them, because they have been happening in the region.
I think the Secretariat has taken that intervention because these are emerging diseases that are already in the regions and must be captured there. And the stakeholders responsible for this are the EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partners. If there is no any other interventions, I can proceed to a thematic area, which is the final thematic area on harmonizations of policies and laws on migration. The one, harmonization of policies and laws on migration. The interventions are A, support the review and harmonize existing laws and policies on migrations, thematic areas including e-immigration policies, labor migration policies, counter-trafficking bill. B, develop an action plan for the implementations of the recommendations of the EAC scorecard 2018 on the free movement of labor, right of establishment and residence. C, conduct a mapping of regional laws and policies related to migrations using the EAC scorecard. The budget estimate is $5 million, and the stakeholders responsible are EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partner. And the duration is 5 years from 2025 to 2030. 2, governance and institutional strengthening. The interventions is only one intervention, which is holistic, undertake, survey, and rationalizations of the existing TWGs under the EAC institutional framework to determine relevant TWGs to host migrations thematic areas. And the budget is 50,000. Estimate EAC, partner state, IOM, development, and social partner are the responsible on this. The period is also the same, 5 years. 3 is data, statistic, and research. The interventions are A, develop regional TOR and a data sharing framework or MOU. B, develop guidelines for harmonizations of migration statistic C, establish an inter-reg collaborations platform on statistic and data sharing. D, establish coordination mechanism on data, research and statistics to link RCP with other platforms in the regions. The estimated budget is 200,000 and the stakeholder responsible are EAC partner state, IOM, development and social partners. The period is 5 years, remain the same. And finally, 4 is awareness creations on EAC RCP interventions. And there is one holistic intervention, which is develop and implement an RCP communication strategy. And that strategy estimate budget is 500,000. And the responsible stakeholders are EAC, partner state, IOM, development and social partners. And that goes for 5 good years. The total estimate budget for this is 6,200,000 estimated budget to implement these interventions, and the stakeholders remain the same: EAC, partner state, IOM, development partners, development and social partners, and this goes for 5 years. With this, Honorable Chair, I submit on this is the draft action plan. Thank you so much.
Don't go away, you will stand there. Now, you have been talking of million. Now, what is the total of all these millions? This is number 1. Number 2, let me go back to the question asked by a minister from Kenya. How do you mobilize this money? How do you divide? Who is to pay what? All right, because you limit IOM partners and what and what. Do you have actually a breakdown for any country to pay what? How do we mobilize this money?
Thank you so much. I will welcome my brother from the EAC, Stephen, to answer some of the questions. And maybe IOM, who have been mentioned all along. How do we break down all these kind of millions of dollars? Stephen.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Chairperson, under Article 71 of the Treaty for Establishment of EAC, Secretariat has a mandate to mobilize resources. On this particular assignment, the EAC Secretariat will mobilize resources, the IOM, and the partner states. So the EAC Secretariat will work with the partner states and the IOM to mobilize. And we shall mobilize from international organizations such as UNHCR, ILO, as listed chairperson will submit.
What the Secretariat will mobilize and what IOM will mobilize. Because we have to know. Now, you don't just put it just like that. What is the division between us and between the Secretariat and the IOM? Or IOM has the muscle to mobilize all this money alone? If they have that, and then I will be happy.
Chairperson, IOM is also here. They can also give a word, but we shall indeed work together to mobilize. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, am I recognized? Chair, as I mentioned in my remarks, IOM has been working very closely with the EAC to mobilize resources. I mentioned the joint program with IOM, EAC, and UNDP, focusing on one particular area, but that's one approach that we have, and this is where we need the support of all of the member states. We cannot give you a breakdown now. This is an action plan that requires more technical discussions. I would urge Your Excellencies and Honorable Ministers to approve the action plan as it is, and then we can go into the technical details as to how to raise it. But we do welcome the support of the individual partner states to raise that funding. I myself have had conversations with a number of donors. I don't want to put them on the spot about this and what it means to them. What did every single donors have said to me when I have conversation to them is, we want to make sure that the EAC, fulfill its promise, but we want to make sure that all of the protocols that have been signed are implemented. So the donors have an interest in seeing those implemented. Some states are moving at different speed. What we would want is at some point all of the partner states to be at the same level of implementation of the protocols and at the same speed. But the donors are here. This is why the action plan is important. We could come to them with a project. They said, okay, we don't want to see individual project. We want to see a continuum. You want to create an ecosystem to make sure that the common market protocol is implemented and the free movement protocols are implemented across the board. So this is a very good blueprint and a roadmap for when we have a conversation with the donors, we can say, this is what we have. And it shows when you have all the partner states signing off on it, it shows that there was a conversation, we deliberated, and there is a clear idea of where to go. Thank you.
Okay, please.
Our concern as part of the institutions that are also supporting EAC in terms of member state is this activity on labor and migration is already from the plan for 5 years, it's back to back. And the EAC as an institution is taking care of several other aspects that again need funding. So if you look at the budget, the way it's been put, it's so ambitious on labor and migration as a single aspect. Yet the same EAC has several other functions that are supposed to be done by them in the member states. So I'm looking at when the budget is like this for EAC, migration and labor, then what happens with the other several activities that fall under EAC? And there are still, of course, the challenge of some countries not remitting is also real. So if EAC commits on labor this much, then what does EAC speak to in terms of the donors for the other pending activities, just in case the member states do not remit as it's been desired? Thank you.
I think you, the Secretariat, on my opening remarks, I thank you very much for your hard work. But it seems now that you have not completed. You don't want us to rest. And you want us to go and make calculation. I am not good in mathematics. Now you want to give us another work to go and calculate how much do we need on this document. Thing that you should have put. This is number one. Number two, I think we need to sign something that we know, because we are going to report this to our principal. It's not we alone. Now, according to IOM now, he is committing us for signing, which we don't know how much am I going to pay, and later on he will tell me that you pay the whole budget because you have signed. All right? So I don't want that. So unless you assure us that you are going to work on it, and then you give us but it is important so that we know each country, and the minister, she is right. We are not okay, all of us, when it comes to economical situation. But I think I want you, the regional director of IOM. All right? If you can assure us that I must double my efforts, and then you meet the cause. I think that will be good, because now you are going to commit us, and then tomorrow you are going to tell us, because this one is going to be a legal document. And you are not going to go away from it. We have already signed it. All right? And our principal will tell us, who told you that to go and sign this 20 million or 30 million? So it's become a problem. So I think we need here to be very clear.
This is an action plan. It happens to be costed, but it could have been an action plan that has no cost to it. It's always good to have a costed action plan so you see what it's going to cost. It's a way forward. So it's not a budget committing any member state to anything, but it's an action plan that shows where we should go and what it would cost to get there. I cannot speak for the EAC Secretariat because there are some of the points that were made that were strictly for them. I just want to clarify that this action plan, it's always good to have the cost, but it's not something that is committing the member states or even the EAC, but these are guideposts to tell us where we should go and what it would take to get there. So it's not any firm commitment as to the report. This is an action plan annexed to the report. If that's that. But we are committed to work with the EAC Secretariat to do joint resource mobilization. We've done that before, and we're going to continue to do it.
Chair, thank you very much. I think this document needs to be understood as an action plan. If you go to any door with an action plan that is not costed and you don't have an idea how much the activities that you're presenting will cost, it doesn't help you. So from here in this particular document, no partner state or EAC Secretariat or IOM in that regard is committing to giving money. It's very clear. It's an action plan of action, but it helps joint resource mobilization between all partners. And also, maybe for your information, some of these activities listed are already funded from the beginning. That's IOM money that's already in this plan. There is ongoing projects that are also in there. But this will actually help EAC, partner states, that this document is there and there is a plan for 5 years to complete these activities. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Allow me to. Sorry. Okay. I use this one. Yes, thank you. I am not sure if the Secretariat is following what the chairman and my minister from Kenya is asking. I'm not sure if they're following or they're deliberately avoiding to answer, because the question here is that we all know that we have challenges, financial challenges, in raising the requisite amounts of money that we need in EAC. Now, this is one item, and it requires 6.2 million US dollars. So what my minister from Kenya is thinking, you want to ask me to go back to Parliament and ask for this money because the budgets have already been done, and it may be very difficult to raise that money, at least from my country. I am sure, because then we have to go back to Parliament. And that is, I think, what the chairman is saying, that is IOM going to be able to raise this money? Because if you ask the partner states, because every item here, you have indicated EAC partner states, EAC partner states. Yes, who are the partner states? It's us, isn't it? It's the 8 of us, isn't it? And from our part, from Kenya, our concern is that budgets have been done. And it's not going to be easy to go back and ask for that kind of money, especially when this is an extra item. So, the director from IOM, the chairman and my minister are asking, when you are proposing these items and with this expenditure, look for alternative ways of funding this without saying that the money will come from partner states, because it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, very difficult. Thank you.
I think it is good that we are in the same page. And now this document is going to be a legal document where we can be sued if we fail to do that. Yes. So, but anyway, the takeaway now is that the Secretariat, which I'm very happy to tell us that some of the activities have already been funded, which is okay. And we don't know how much has been paid in this unknown budget, because now I cannot say that how many million. Now we are talking million, 5 million, 12 million. I don't know how much is it. Is it 50 million now when you add them together? All right? What you have already collected. But anyway, the takeaway is that you are going to sit with IOM and you see how do you mobilize this money. When you come to us, don't sue us. If you tell me that you gave me 200,000, I did not pay, don't take me to court because I have not paid that one. But I think it's okay. You go and work on the details and what you have got. Of course, it's our work. We are not going to shy away if we have resources to pay something for these activities, which is really important, you know. So I don't know. Do you have any comment on this? Okay. Now, okay.
Chair, through my senior, I want to allay the fears of Kenya. I think the Secretariat has clarified that this is an estimate, that we've set ourselves some goals, hitherto not within our activities, and the cost estimates are these, and that cost may be shared with IOM. It's not that we are farming, that we must produce this money. That's how I understood it. That's how I picked it. Yes, Chair. And in any case, this is for the EAC. It's not for IOM. It's ours. It's ours.
The Secretariat, of course, the Secretariat and the senior officials. You have discussed this ostensibly, and what were your argument on this? You just leave it like that the IOM and the Secretariat will go and make, or you have any tentative suggestion that you have provided? Not. It's okay. We leave it to the Secretariat and the IOM. Let them go and work it out. Yes, somebody there?
Thanks, Chair.
Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Agot Edward, a delegate from South Sudan. For the question that you have just asked, Honorable Chair, is a question that we talk as a delegate from South Sudan regarding the budget that has been projected there. Our question was, does the budget being asked by the Secretariat constitute the budget that we contribute as a member state to the East African community? And if the answer was yes, then the rest of the money that will come will be from the partners, the IOM, and the rest of the state that will top up from the contribution from the member state, which they channel to the East Africa community. Thank you.
I think we leave it like that. And anyway, you will, the Secretariat, when you are done with all the calculation, you will let us know. All right? So
Chair, we have already done the calculations. We have gone through the figures, and it's now a grand total of 37,750,000 US dollars. We shall make an amendment to the section of grand
37
total.
million.
37 million.
Okay. Yeah, sound better. All right. Okay, what next? Now we are finished with the document.
What next is, there are two things. One, the Secretariat will clean the document as for the interventions that have been made. And two, we have a page which is for signatures. And we will ask as we go for, either you sign the last page and the Secretariat continue printing the other bigger documents, then you will come and initial it, or yes, this is the last page of all the member states, starting from South Sudan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, down the line to the high table, which is the last page which you can sign, and the Secretariat clean up that final report, and it will be initials.
So we initial it during the lunch or what? Or we wait here?
You decide, or you can do it now.
If it is ready, then it's better we do it here. Are you ready, Secretariat? Will you be ready for 8 copies? Secretariat? Are you ready to provide now the 8 copies? We don't fear signing the last page. But what what will happen with the rest of the? Because if you go away from here, you may not get us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The leader of delegation of the Permanent Secretaries was explaining, in the interest of time, you may sign the last page of the report, of your report, so that after lunch, the Permanent Secretaries will now go through the entire report, confirm that what has been amended has been captured very well, then they would initial the rest of the pages. But the original signatures will be appearing on the last page where the ministers will sign. If it is okay with you, Honorable Chair.
What are you suggesting? We sign this one, we go for lunch, and then we come back to initial the pages?
No, the Permanent Secretaries will come back and finalize the rest of the pages and initial them on your behalf, if you find it appropriate.
On our behalf? No, not on behalf. We are here present. We have to do that. Why would we do? We give you that responsibility, and we are here. So now, yes, Frank.
Honorable Chair, may I suggest something? While the Secretariat cleans up the document, I suggest we go to lunch, and the documents can be signed by Your Excellencies during lunch.
I think if you fail to give us a good answer, now we go for lunch. While you are polishing we are not going to sign the last page. We will sign it together with the other page. All right. When we finish from the lunch, okay, we come and sign. There is nothing that we are coming to discuss again. Is it okay?
So, I think that is okay.
Yeah. So now we break for lunch. While we are doing lunch, we can have actually the group photo. And then, all right?
Yeah. Yes, can you have a group photo here before you go for the lunch, and the high table after the group photo, you will be led by
we have no problem.
The team, our protocols.
Hello?
No, you can have a group photo here, and you will have another one down. Okay, thank you.
Let me welcome Harvard.
Omukono gwano gunkubanga mwenge okutula n'ennyingo kutomeza n'ebisenge. I'm too addicted to hauling a sente. Tally on expiry date. Buli kaseera njagala mbewendi jangu.
Can the permanent secretaries, principal secretaries, and the undersecretaries come behind the ministers and take this photo inside here, please? Or even the head of delegates, because they space behind it is good. Thank you.